Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will study cost volume analysis. So cost volume analysis focuses on relationship between cost, revenue and volume of output. The purpose of cost volume analysis is to estimate the income of an organization under different operating conditions. Well, it is particularly useful as a tool for comparing capacity alternatives. Right. So let me not go into the details. Let me just focus on the formulas. So in cost volume analysis, we'll assume that variable cost per unit remains the same regardless of volume of output, and then all output can be sold. So that means in cost volume analysis, we'll assume that the variable cost per unit remains the same regardless of volume of output, and that all output can be sold. Right. So as we know that total cost means fixed cost plus variable cost. So what is fixed cost? Right. So fixed costs tend to remain constant regardless of volume of output. That means the fixed cost will remain same. It doesn't matter what volume of output you produce. So regardless of output or regardless of volume of output, it will not change. So that means fixed cost will tend to remain same or constant regardless of volume of output. That means it doesn't matter what volume of output you produce. Right. So examples of fixed cost can be like rental cost, property taxes, equipment cost, and other administrative cost. So this is fixed cost, and variable cost vary or change directly with volume of output. That means if you produce more and more output, in that case variable cost will also increase. So total cost is fixed cost plus variable cost. So total cost is fixed cost plus variable cost. So variable fixed cost is fixed, as we have already told you. Okay, so fixed cost is fixed, right? So variable cost, what is variable cost? Variable cost means variable cost per unit multiplied by quantity. So if you produce 1 unit, you will multiply it by Q will be 1, and the variable cost which will be multiplied by variable cost per unit to get the total, to get the variable cost. So variable cost means variable cost per unit. V means variable cost per unit multiplied by volume or quantities of output. So total revenue means total income from selling a product. So total revenue means total income that we can get from selling a product. So total revenue means revenue per unit multiplied by quantity. So revenue per unit multiplied by quantity. For example, if you have a grocery shop, and if you sell 5 kilogram of sugar, so if the price of sugar per kilo is 50 taka, so if the price of sugar is 50 taka per kilogram, and if you sell 5 kilogram of sugar, you will get total revenue is 5 multiplied by 50 taka is the price. So I'm saying again, if you have a grocery shop, if you sell 5 kilogram of sugar, and the sugar price is 50 taka per kilogram, so that is 50 taka is the revenue per kilogram. So 50 taka is the price of sugar per kilogram, or revenue of sugar per kilogram. So that means if you sell 1 kilogram sugar, revenue will be 50 taka per kilogram. Right. So this is revenue per kilogram or revenue per unit. And if you sell 5 kilogram of sugar, that means Q will be 5. So total revenue will be what? So total revenue will be 50 taka per kilogram multiplied by 5 kilogram. So 5 multiplied by 50, so 250 will be the total revenue. So total revenue means revenue multiplied by quantity. Right. So total profit is what? So total profit will be total revenue, that is total income minus total cost. So total revenue minus total cost. So total profit is equal to total profit P is equal to total revenue, that means the total income that we get from selling products. So total revenue is the total income that we get from selling products. So total revenue minus total cost. So that means profit is equal to total revenue minus total cost. So total revenue is what? So total revenue means R multiplied by Q minus total cost. So total cost is fixed cost plus variable cost. Fixed cost plus variable cost. And variable cost, we know that variable cost means V multiplied by Q. Right. So here we get RQ minus fixed cost minus V multiplied by Q. So we get is RQ minus fixed cost minus VQ. So if we bring the all the Q on the similar side, that means RQ minus VQ minus fixed cost. So in that case we can take Q common. So if you take Q common, you will get R minus V minus fixed cost. So P is equal to Q multiplied by R minus V minus fixed cost. So P is equal to, P means profit is equal to Q multiplied by R minus V minus fixed cost. Right. So if you bring this fixed cost to left hand side, we will get P plus fixed cost. That means profit plus fixed cost is equal to quantity bracket R minus V. Right. So Q will be equal to what? So if you move this one to left hand side, it will be in the lower part of the fraction. That means it will go into the denominator. So we will have P plus FC divided by R minus V. So that is the formula for quantity or formula for output. So Q is equal to P plus FC, that means profit plus fixed cost divided by revenue minus variable revenue per unit minus variable cost per unit. So P is profit, fixed cost, and this one is fixed cost. R is revenue per unit and V is variable cost per unit. Right. So at break even point, so break even point is a no profit no loss situation. So break even point means where we have no profit no loss. That means profit is equal to 0. So that means break even point is a situation where we will have no profit no loss. That means all the profit will be 0 and loss will also be 0. Right. That means P is equal to 0. Right. So break even quantity QBEP. So if we want to find out the break even quantity, so that means QBEP at break even point. At break even point we will get break even quantity. So break even quantity is equal to, as we know that at break even point P is equal to 0. That means no profit no loss. So P is equal to 0. So that means P0 means P will no longer be there. Only we will have is fixed cost divided by R minus V. So that means this is the break even. So that means in the exam you just remember this formula. You just memorize or remember this formula. So if you remember this formula, in that case you can do all the problems, because you know that. So if you want to find out the break even point, that means break even quantity, if you want to find out the break even quantity, in that case P will be 0. That means P will no longer be there. So break even quantity will be FC, that means fixed cost divided by R minus V. Right. So let's start with question number 1. So what we have in question number 1? So in question number 1, what we have is the owner of Old Fashioned Berry Pies. The owner of Old Fashioned Berry Pies, S. Simon, is contemplating adding a new line of pies. So that means the owner of Old Fashioned Berry Pies. So they produce, this company produce pies, right? Some pastry, some snack. So owner of Old Fashioned Berry Pies, name of the owner is S. Simon, is contemplating, that means thinking, to add a new line of pies which will require leasing new equipment for a monthly payment of $6,000. So that means if the owner wants to introduce a new food product, which is a new line of pie, in that case he will have to lease a new equipment. He will have to lease a new equipment or rent a new equipment at the cost of $6,000 per month. So which will require leasing a new equipment for a monthly payment of $6,000. So if he wants to introduce a new product or new line of pies, he will have to lease these equipment at a monthly cost of $6,000. So after he go for the lease, that means after he lease the equipment, it doesn't matter whether he produce only one pie or 10,000 pie or 1 lakh units of pies. Fixed, these will be same. So this cost will be same. So this is a fixed cost, because it doesn't matter whether you produce only one pie or 100 pie or 1000 pie, this cost will remain same, because this is your monthly cost. So this is monthly lease cost, right? So that means this is the monthly lease amount. These will remain same, so regardless of your volume of output. So this is fixed cost, right? So variable cost would be $2 per pie. So variable cost would be $2 per pie, and pies would retail for $7 each. That means retail means if you sell for the single price of single pies is $7 each. So that means price of single pie is $7 each. So this is the revenue per pie or revenue per unit. So that means this is the, if you sell a single pie, you will get $7. So this is the revenue per unit. So this is the revenue per unit, and this is variable cost per unit, right? So question is asking how many pies must be sold in order to break even. How many pies must be sold in order to break even? So we want to find out break even quantity. So break even quantity, the formula is, as you know already, so fixed cost divided by revenue per unit minus variable cost per unit. So fixed cost is $6,000. Fixed cost is $6,000. Revenue per unit is, if you are selling each pie at the price of $7 each. This is the revenue you get from selling each pie. So this is the revenue per unit, right? And variable cost per unit is $2. So revenue per unit is $7 and variable cost per unit is $2. So if you divide 6,000 divided by 5, we will get 1,200 pies per month. So that means if you want to recover you from your all loss, you have to produce minimum 1,200 pies. So that means this is the break even point. That means if you produce less than 1,200 pies per month, you will have a loss. If you produce 1,200 pies, you will have no profit, no loss. If you produce more than 1,200 pies, you will have a profit. So I am repeating again. If you produce less than 1,200 pies, you will have a loss. If you produce 1,200 pies, that means the break even quantity. So if you produce 1,200 pies, you will have no profit, no loss. If you produce more than 1,200 pies, you will have a profit, right? Next question, what would the profit or loss be if 1,000 pies are made and sold in a month? So obviously, as I have told you, so if you produce less than 1,200 pies per month, you will have a loss. If you produce less than 1,200 pies per month, you will have a loss. So second question is asking what would the profit or loss be if 1,000 pies are made and sold in a month? So obviously we know that if you produce less than 1,200 pies, you will have a loss. So answer of the second question will be loss. So let's find out what will be our loss. So next question, right? So the formula is, as you know that the formula is Q is equal to Q is equal to, as I told you, you can just remember one formula, which is P is equal to, Q is equal to profit plus fixed cost divided by R minus V, divided by R minus V. If you remember only this formula, that is good enough. Now, if you do cross multiplication, in that case what we will have, Q multiplied by R minus V is equal to P plus FC. Right. So now P will be equal to, if you bring FC on the left hand side, we will have what? Q into R minus V minus FC. So we will have Q into R minus V minus FC. So as I said before, if you just remember this formula, you can get anything from this one. You can find out the value of P, you can find out the value of Q, you can find out the value of R, you can find out the value of B, and like that. Right. Anyway, so here in this question we want to find out what would the profit or loss be. That means we want to find out the value of P if quantity is 1000, if quantity sold is 1000. So quantity sold is 1000, and we already know revenue per unit is $7, variable cost per unit is $2, and fixed cost, we know that fixed cost is $6,000. We know that fixed cost is $6,000. So if you now calculate, you will see that there will be a P is minus 1000. P is minus 1000. So that means there will be a loss of $1,000. So there will be a loss of $1,000. So what we can see is there will be a loss of this. P is minus 1000, that means profit is minus 1000. That means actually minus 1000 means there will be a loss of $1,000, as I told you before. Right. So okay. Right. So now the next one, part C. How many pies must be sold to realize a profit of $4,000? How many pies must be sold to realize a profit of $4,000? So that means profit, we know profit P is equal to $4,000. Question is asking how many pies must be sold. How many pies must be sold? That means we need to find out the value of Q when the value of P, that is profit, is $4,000. Right. So we need to find out the value of Q. So Q is equal to, we know that already, the formula is P plus profit plus fixed cost divided by R minus B. So profit is $4,000. Fixed cost, as you know that already, fixed cost is $6,000. Fixed cost is $6,000. And from the question we see that profit is $4,000. So we need to find out the value of Q. So Q is 2000 pies per month. So that means if you can sell 2000 pies per month, then you may be able to profit. The profit will be $4,000 per month. Next question. If 2000 pies can be sold and the profit target is $5,000, so if 2000 pies can be sold, that means this is the value of Q, quantity, and the profit target is $5,000. So profit is P is equal to $5,000. What price should be charged per pie? What price should be charged per pie? Right. What price should be charged per pie? That means what should be the price of each pie? That means what should be the revenue per unit of pie? So what price should be charged per pie? That means what should be the revenue per unit of pie? That means we need to find out the value of R. That means revenue per unit or price per unit. Price per unit means revenue per unit. So that means we need to find out the value of R. So as you know that the formula is the same, Q is equal to P plus fixed cost, profit plus fixed cost divided by R minus V. So we know that profit target is $5,000, quantity is 2,000. So profit target is $5,000, quantity is 2,000, fixed cost we already know $6,000, and we need to find out the value of R, that means revenue per unit or price per unit, revenue per unit or price per unit, and we know the variable cost is 2. So if you solve this one, you will see that the value of R, if you do cross multiplication and solve, you will see that the value of R will be $7.5 per piece. So price per piece should be $7.5. Now the next question. A manager has the option of purchasing 1, 2 or 3 machines. A manager has the option of purchasing 1, 2 or 3 machines, right? So we may purchase 1 machine, 2 machine or 3 machines, right? So fixed costs and potential volumes are as follows. So a manager has the option of purchasing 1, 2 or 3 machines. So fixed costs and potential volumes are as follows, right? So number of machines 1, 2, 3, right? So the data we have is, so if you buy only 1 machine, the total annual fixed cost will be $9,600. So a manager has the option of purchasing 1, 2 or 3 machines. Fixed cost and potential volumes are as follows. So if the manager purchases only 1 machine, total annual fixed cost will be $9,600, and they will be able to produce 0 to 300 units. So if the manager purchases 2 machines, total annual fixed cost will be $15,000, and he will be able to produce approximately 301 to 600 units. If he purchase 3 machines, total annual fixed cost will be $20,000, and he will be able to produce 601 to 900 units. Variable cost is $10 per unit. Variable cost is $10 per unit, and revenue is $40 per unit. So variable cost is $10 per unit and revenue is $40 per unit. So this is V and this is revenue. So that means this is variable cost per unit, that means the value of V, and this is revenue per unit, that means R. Question is asking, determine the break-even point for each range. So we need to find out the break-even point for this one, break-even point for this one, and for this one. So break-even point, we know that the break-even point is fixed cost divided by R minus D. As you know that the value of Q is profit plus fixed cost divided by R minus D. V. So this is the formula. Value of Q is equal to P plus fixed cost, profit plus fixed cost divided by R minus V. But at break-even point, value of P is 0. That means no profit. Break-even point means no profit, no loss. So P, the value of P will be equal to 0. So break-even quantity will be equal to what? Fixed cost divided by R minus V. So break-even quantity will be fixed cost divided by R minus V. So as you can see, so if the manager purchase only 1 machine, in that case range of output will be 0 to 300, and the fixed cost is 9,600. Fixed cost is 9,600, and revenue per unit is 40. Revenue per unit is 40. Variable cost per unit is 10. 10 minus 10. So if you divide, you will see that 320 units per year. So that means if you can produce 320 units per year, you will be able to achieve break-even point. So if you produce less than 300 units per year, you will make a loss. If you can produce more than 300 units, 320 units, you will make a profit. So I'm saying again, If you produce less than 320 units, you will make a loss. If you produce 320 units, you will have a no profit, no loss. If you produce more than 320 units, you will make a profit. But as you know that if the manager purchase only one machine, maximum production will be 300. Maximum production per year will be 300. So that means manager will never be able to make profit, because to make profit he need to produce more than 320 units. But maximum he can produce only from one machine. The maximum production from one machine will be 300. So that means he will never be able to achieve profit, because to achieve profit he need to produce more than 320 units, but maximum production from one machine will be 300. So if the manager purchase only one machine, he will be always in loss. So this 320 units is out of range, because the maximum production is 300. So there is no break-even point. He will always be in loss. Now if he purchase two machines, he can produce 301 to 600 units. So break-even point will be what? Fixed cost is $15,000 divided by revenue per unit minus variable cost per unit, that is 40 minus 10. So that is 500 units per year, which is within the range, because we can produce maximum 600 units. So 500 units is within the range. So if you produce more than 500 units, you will make profit. If you produce 500 unit, you will have no profit, no loss. If you produce less than 500 unit, you will make a loss. Now the next one, if the manager purchase three machine, range of production is 601 to 900. So maximum production will be 900. So break even point. So now annual fixed cost is $20,000. So $20,000 divided by 40 minus 10, which is 666.66 units per year. So 666.66 units per year, right? So that means this is within the range. This is also within the range. So if you can produce more than 666 units, you will, if you can produce more than 60, so units can be like units, I mean, I don't know what kind of units they are producing here. So if you round it, it will be like, let's consider it like 667. So if you produce more than 667 units, you will make a profit. If you produce less than 667 units, you will end up in loss. So first question was asking us to find out the break-even point for each range. We already got it. Now the second one, if projected annual demand is between 580 to 600 units, how many machines should the manager purchase? So if the projected annual demand is between 580, so if the minimum demand is 580 and the maximum demand is 660, then how many machines should the manager purchase? Obviously this one is not a good choice, because if you buy only one machine, you will always end up in loss, and also you will not be able to fulfill demand. So this is out of question. Now if you buy two machine, you will be able to, if the demand is 580 units, still you will be in profit. If the minimum demand is 580 units, still you will be in profit. But if the maximum demand, if the market reaches to maximum demand, you won't be able to supply that many units, because the maximum you can produce is 600 units. So if the market reaches to maximum point, or reaches to maximum demand, you won't be able to supply 660 units. Anyway, so if the manager buy 2 units, break even point is 500. We know that break even point is 500 units per year. So if the profit at projected range of demand, profit at projected range of demand. As you know that the formula is this one. So if you want to find out the value of P from here, value of P will be what? Q multiplied by R minus V minus FC. So profit will be equal to, so profit, so here this one is the column for minimum demand, this one is the column for minimum demand, this one is the column for maximum demand. So if the here the minimum demand is 580, minimum demand is 580 and the maximum demand is 660. So if the market demand is at minimum level, if the market demand is at minimum level, that is 580, how much profit we can make? So if the manager buy 2 machines, the profit he can make is, so if the market is at minimum level, if the market demand is at minimum level, that is if he can sell 580 units, that is if the Q is 580, so R minus V is 40 minus 10 minus fixed cost. So if the manager buy 2 machine, fixed cost is $15,000 minus 15,000. So he will make, the manager will have a $2,400 profit. So if the market reaches to maximum demand level, if the market reaches to maximum demand level, obviously he cannot produce maximum demand. The maximum he can produce is 600 units. So there is a slight mistake here. He can maximum produce 600 units. He cannot produce more than that. He cannot produce more than that. There is a slight mistake here. He can maximum produce 600 units. So that means 600, that means if the market reaches to 600 maximum demand level, he cannot supply to up to that level. He can maximum produce is 600 units. So 600 multiplied by 30, 600 multiplied by 40 minus 10 is 30. So 600 multiplied by 30 minus 15,000. So which will be $3,000. So $3,000. So this is 18,000 minus 15,000, which is $3,000. Right. So if the market reaches to maximum demand level, with 2 machine you won't be able to supply that 660 units. You can maximum supply 600 units. You can maximum supply 600 units. So you will make a profit of $3,000. Right. So if the manager buys 3 machines, he can, the break even point is 666 units. So that means, which means that, so break even point is 666 units, but maximum demand is 660. So that means to make profit, if the manager buy 3 machine, break even point is 666 units. So that means he need to sell more than 666 units to make a profit from 3 machine. If he buys 3 machine, he needs to sell more than 666 units to make a profit. But the maximum demand, we can see that maximum demand is only 660 units. So he will never be able to make profit if he buys 3 machines. So if he buys 3 machines, so if the market is at minimum demand level, he will make a loss. If the market is at maximum demand level, still he will have a loss. So that means if the manager buys 3 machines, he will always end up in loss. So buying 2 machine will be the best choice for the manager. So if we buy 2 machines, then even if the demand is at minimum level, it would be above the break even point. So that means even if the market is at minimum demand level, it is above the break even point, so we will make a profit. But if we buy 3 machines, then even if the demand is at the top end of the projected demand, the volume would still be less than the break even point for that range, so there will be no profit. So that means if the market reaches to maximum demand level, even in that case also it will be lower than the break even point if the manager buy 3 machine. If the manager buy 3 machines, if the market reaches to maximum demand level, that is 660, even in that case also it will be lower than break even point. So even in that case also the manager will end up in loss. So that means buying 3 machine is not a, he will always end up in loss. If the manager buy 3 machines, he will always end up in loss. So it's not a good choice. So therefore we should buy 2 machines if the actual demand lies within the projected demand level. Now the next one, a firm's manager must decide whether to make or buy a certain item used in the production of vending machines. Right. So a firm's manager must decide whether to make or buy a certain item used in the production of vending machines. So company produce vending machine. So to produce vending machine, they require a certain equipment or certain parts for that machine. So they can produce that machine or they can buy from outside. So making the item would involve annual lease cost of $150,000. So if they make the parts or the equipment of the vending machine, so if they make the item, it will require annual lease cost of $150,000. Cost and volume estimates are as follows. Annual fixed cost, as you already know that annual fixed cost, if the company make the equipment, if the company make or produce the equipment, in that case annual lease cost is $150,000. That means if they make it, annual lease cost will be $150,000. Variable cost will be $60 per unit. Variable cost will be $60 per unit, and they can maximum produce 12,000 units per year. So they can maximum produce 12,000 units per year, or they need maximum 12,000 units per year, right? So if they buy, obviously there is no fixed cost, because if they buy from outside market, they don't have to pay anything for the fixed cost, only the price of the equipment, and the price of the equipment is $80. So if they buy only 1 unit, it will be $80. If they buy 2 units, it will be 80 multiplied by 2, that is $160. So that means if they buy more and more unit, it will be multiplied accordingly. So that means this is the variable cost per unit if they buy. So they need 12,000 units yearly. So annually they need 12,000 units. So given these numbers, should the firm buy or make the item? So if they need 12,000 units per year, should they buy or make the item? So we need to compare the total cost to make the decision, to compare make or buy. So let's see total cost to make. So total cost is obviously fixed cost plus variable cost. So variable cost, how you can get it? Variable cost is V multiplied by Q, variable cost per unit multiplied by Q, right? So total cost to make. So that means if the company make the product, in that case fixed cost is $150,000. So $150,000 plus variable cost per unit is $60 multiplied by 12,000. So variable cost per unit is $60 multiplied by 12,000, which is $870,000. So these will be the total cost to make the product. So total cost to buy will be equal to what? 12,000 multiplied by 80. So 12,000 multiplied by 80, which is $960,000. $960,000. So obviously we can see that if the annual requirement of the product is 12,000 units, in that case total cost to make will be lower than the total cost to buy. So if you buy the product from outside, it will require $960,000. So if you instead if you produce it within the company, if you produce the equipment, it will cost you only $870,000. So because the annual cost of making the item is less than the annual cost of buying it, the manager would reasonably choose to make the item. So manager should make the item inside the company instead of buying it from outside. Right. Now the second question, part B. There is a possibility that volume could change in the future. So at present they need 12,000 units per year, but in future there is a possibility that volume could change. That means in future volume could change. They may need more than 12,000 units or they may need less than 12,000 units. So the question is asking, at what volume would the manager be indifferent between making and buying? So that means at what volume would the manager be indifferent? Indifferent means either of the choice will cost same. That means cost of making and cost of buying will be same. That means you may choose either cost, you may choose to either to make or to buy. So that means at what volume, that means at what level of Q, what should be the value of Q. So that means what should be the value of Q, that means at what volume would the manager be indifferent between making and buying. That means total cost of making and total cost of buying will be the same at what volume. Obviously let's consider that quantity is Q, right? So if you make Q quantities of the output, in that case obviously if you make it, total cost is, fixed cost is 150,000 plus Q multiplied by the variable cost. So this is the fixed cost, this is the fixed cost plus variable cost. Variable cost means variable cost per unit multiplied by quantity. So these will be the total cost to make if you make Q units of the product. If you buy Q units of the, if you buy same Q units of the product, obviously this is the variable cost per unit, no fixed cost there. So Q multiplied by 80, right? So that means the two choice would be equivalent. The two choice would be equivalent if the total cost to make is equal to total cost to buy. That means if the total cost to make and total cost to buy is same, in that case we may choose any one of it. We may choose either to make or to buy. So this is the total cost to make, that means fixed cost plus the variable cost, and this is here there is no fixed cost, there is no fixed cost, so only variable cost, that is 80 multiplied by Q. So now if you solve it, you will see the value of Q is equal to 7,500 units. That means if you require annually 7,500 units, if you require annually 7,500 units, in that case total cost to make will be same like total cost to buy. So you may choose any one of it, you will be indifferent, right? So therefore at a volume of 7,500 units a year, the manager would be indifferent between making and buying. For lower volumes the choice would be to buy. So for lower volumes, so if you need, so that means if you need 7,500 units, you may choose to either to make or to buy. But if you need less than 7,500 units per year, it would be better if you buy it from outside rather than making it. But if you need more than 7,500 units per year, it would be better if you make it within the company. Now the next question, question number 4. A small firm produces and sells automotive items in a 5-state area. A small firm produces and sells automotive items in a 5-state area. The firm expects to consolidate assembly of its battery chargers line at a single location. Currently, operations are in 3 widely scattered locations. The leading candidate for location will have a monthly fixed cost of $42,000, variable cost of $3 per charger. Charger sells for $7 each. So this is the variable cost per charger. That means this is the V, value for V. This is the fixed cost, and this is the charger sells for $7 each. That means if you sell one charger, you will get revenue $7. So that means revenue per charger or revenue per unit, that is value of R, is $7. So prepare a table that shows total profits, fixed costs, variable costs, and revenues for monthly volumes of 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 units. So we need to prepare a table to calculate. These are the different values of Q. So Q can be 10,000, 12,000, 15,000. For these different level of units volumes, for these different level of volumes, we need to find out the total profit, fixed costs, variable costs, and revenue. Right. So volume is 10,000, 12,000, 15,000. Now the total revenue. So we need to find out the total profit, fixed costs, variable costs, and revenues. Right. So let us first find out total revenue. So total revenue, we know that total revenue means R multiplied by quantity. Revenue per unit multiplied by quantity. So we can see that revenue per unit is $7. Revenue per unit is, the value of R is $7. So $7 multiplied by 10,000 units, so 70,000. Fixed cost is obviously 42,000. So fixed cost is 72,000. Now the variable cost is $3 per unit. So if you produce 10,000 unit, so 3 multiplied by 10,000, which is $30,000. So now the total profit. So total profit is total revenue minus total cost. So total cost, we can see that the total cost means 42,000 plus 30,000. So total cost is 72,000. And here total revenue is only 70,000. So 70,000 minus 42,000 minus 30,000. So 70,000 is the total revenue, that is total income, and this is the total cost. So 70,000 minus 42,000 minus 30,000, that means we will have a $2,000 loss. Always remember, in accounting, if we put a figure inside a bracket, that means it is a loss. So that means there will be a $2,000 loss. So if the volume of output is 12,000 units, in that case 7 multiplied by 12,000, that means total revenue is 84,000. Fixed cost is fixed. Variable cost is 3 multiplied by 12,000. So 3 multiplied by 12,000, 36,000. So profit will be what? 84,000 minus 42,000 minus 36,000. There will be a profit of $6,000. So like that way we can easily prepare the table. Now the second question, what is the break-even point? So we need to find out also, we also need to find out the break-even point. So this is the break-even point formula. So fixed cost divided by R minus V. So fixed cost is obviously here, the fixed cost is what? Fixed cost is $42,000. There is a typing mistake here. $42,000 divided by 7 minus 3. So $42,000 divided by 7 minus 3. Fixed cost is 42,000 divided by R minus V, that is 7 minus 3, is equal to 10,500 units per month. So that means if you produce 10,500 units per month, you will have a no profit, no loss situation. But if you produce less than these units per month, you will end up in loss. If you produce more than 10,500, if you can produce more than 10,500 units and sell 10,500 units, if you can produce and sell more than 10,500 units per month, you will make a profit. You will have some profit. So next question is asking determine profit when volume equals 22,000 units. That means determine profit when volume equals 22,000 units. That means when the value of Q is equal to 22,000 units. Right. So this is the profit formula. P is equal to Q into R minus V minus fixed cost. So Q is equal to 22,000 unit, R is 7, V is 3, and fixed cost is 42,000. So if you calculate, you will see that you will be able to make a profit of $46,000. Now we will solve example 5. So in example 5, what we have? A producer of pottery is considering the addition of a new plant to absorb the backlog of demand that now exists. The primary location being considered will have fixed cost of $9,200 per month. So that is the fixed cost. Variable cost of 70 cents per unit produced. Each item is sold to retailers. So this is variable cost, that is V. Each item is sold to retailers at a price that averages 90 cents. So this is the price per unit. That means each item is sold to retailers at a price of this. So this is the revenue per unit or price per unit. So this is the revenue per unit or price per unit, that is R. Now the question is asking what volume per month is required in order to break even. So what volume per month is required in order to break even? So we know that the break even quantity is fixed cost divided by R minus V. So fixed cost is $9,200. So fixed cost is $9,200 and this is revenue. Revenue per unit is 90 cents. So revenue per unit is 90 cents. That means we need to convert this one to dollar. So 90 cents means $0.90. 90 cents means $0.90. In Bangla we can call it like paisa. So 90 cents means you can consider it like 90 paisa. So 90 cents means $0.90. That is the revenue per unit, and variable cost per unit is 70 cents. That is $0.70. So if you divide, we will get 46,000 units per month. 46,000 units per month. So that is the break-even quantity. Now the second question, what profit would be realized on a monthly volume of 61,000 units? So what profit would be realized on a monthly volume of 61,000 units? So what profit would be realized on a monthly volume of 61,000 units? Right. So profit, we need to find out the profit. So what profit would be realized? That means we need to find out the profit for a monthly volume of 61,000 units. So quantity is 61,000 units. So as you know that the price formula is what? So we know that as I said before, you just need to remember this formula. You just need to remember only one formula, which is what? P plus fixed cost divided by R minus V. So if you do cross multiplication, then you will get this one. So you will get this one. So here Q is equal to 61,000 units. So here, as I said before, you just need to remember this formula. Q is equal to profit plus fixed cost divided by R minus V. Now if you do cross multiplication, you will have Q into R minus V, and if you bring this FC into left hand side, you will have Q into R minus V minus FC minus fixed cost. So now the question is asking like what profit would be realized on a month for a monthly volume of 61,000 units. So Q is equal to 61,000 units. Question is asking what profit you will get. So profit P is equal to this one. So Q is equal to 61,000 unit. R is equal to 90 cents, that is $0.90. V is variable cost per unit, which is 70 cents, that is $0.70, minus fixed cost is 9,200. So minus fixed cost is $9,200, right? So if we calculate, we will get $3,000. Right. So now the next one. Okay. So in the next one. So if the volume of output is 87,000 unit, then what profit we will get? So here everything will remain same, only Q will change, 87,000 unit. So in that case, profit realized will be $8,200. Now the next question, what volume is needed to obtain a profit of 16,000 per month? What volume is needed to obtain a profit of 16,000 per month? So profit P is given. We need to find out what volume is needed. That means we need to find out the output, that is Q, right? So Q is equal to this one. So here P is equal to 16,000. We know that fixed cost is 9,200. We know it from the question. Revenue per unit is 90 cents, that is $0.90. Variable cost per unit is $0.70, 70 cents, that is $0.70. If you calculate, you will see that 126,000 units per month. So that means if you want to get a profit of 16,000 per month, we need to produce and sell 126,000 units per month. What volume is needed to provide a revenue of 23,000 per month? What volume is needed to provide a revenue of 23,000 per month? So revenue is given. We need to find out the value of Q. What volume is needed? So revenue is equal to RQ. We know that revenue is equal to R multiplied by Q, which is 23,000 here, and we need to find out the value of Q. So R, revenue is 90 cents. Revenue per unit is 90 cents per unit. So $0.90 multiplied by Q. We don't know the value of Q. We need to find out the value of Q. What volume is needed? So if you do your calculation, you will see that Q is equal to 25,556 units per month. So that means this is the volume of output we need to produce to achieve a profit of $23,000 per month. Right. Next question. A small firm intends to increase the capacity of a bottleneck operation by adding a new machine. Bottleneck means problematic operation that hinders the productivity, right? So that means, right, so two alternatives. A small firm intends to increase the capacity of a bottleneck operation by adding a new machine, right? Two alternatives A and B have been identified. The associated costs and revenues have been estimated, right? Annual fixed cost would be $40,000 for alternative A and $30,000 for alternative B. Variable cost per unit will be $10 per unit for A, alternative A, and $11 per unit for alternative B. Revenue per unit will be same, $15. Question is asking, determine each alternative's break-even points. So alternative A and alternative B, we got two alternatives. So break-even point, that is break-even quantity, is equal to, formula is fixed cost divided by R minus B. So for alternative A, fixed cost is $40,000. For alternative A, fixed cost is $40,000. So $40,000 is the fixed cost. So revenue per unit is same for both alternative, which is $15. So revenue per unit is same for both alternative, that is $15 per unit. So $15. Variable cost is variable cost per unit would be $10 for A, alternative A. So this is the variable cost per unit for alternative A. So this is the variable cost per unit for alternative A, which is $10. So $10 variable cost. So if you do your calculation, you will see 8,000 units. So this is the break-even point or break-even quantity for alternative A. So similarly, we can find out the break-even quantity for alternative B, which is what? Fixed formula is same. So for alternative B, fixed cost is $30,000. For alternative B, fixed cost is $30,000. Right. So this is the fixed cost divided by revenue is same for both, $15. But for alternative B, variable cost is $11 per unit. So variable cost is $11 per unit. So if you calculate, you will see that we will get 7,500 units. That is the break-even point for alternative B. Now the question is asking, at what volume of output would the two alternative yield the same profit? Right. So we need to find out the at what volume of output, that is what should be the value of Q for which both the alternative will give us same profit. So at what volume of output, that means at what volume of Q would the two alternative, that means alternative A and alternative B, will give us the same profit. So alternative A, so profit formula, we know that the profit formula is what? Profit formula is like that way. If you remember this formula from this one, if you do cross multiplication, you can easily find out the formula for P, which is Q into R minus B minus fixed cost. So P is equal to Q into R minus B minus fixed cost. So here we don't know the value of Q. We need to find at what volume of output. At what volume of output, that means we need to find out the value of Q for which alternative A and alternative B will give us the same profit. So we don't know the value of Q. R, we know that for alternative A, R is 15 and V is 10. So V is 10, R is 15, minus fixed cost is $40,000. So like that. And for alternative B, formula is the same. We don't know the value of Q, but for alternative B, revenue is $15 per unit and variable cost is $11 per unit. So 15 minus 11 minus fixed cost is $30,000. So fixed cost is $30,000. Right. So as I said that at what volume of output would the two alternative would the two alternative yield the same profit? That means what value of Q should give us same profit from both the alternative. So that means this one and this one should be same. So profit from this one and these alternative, profit from alternative A and profit from alternative B will be same. So if profit is same, so if profit is same from both alternatives, in that case this one and this one will be equal. So that means this one will be equal to this one. So that means this one will be equal to this one. So now if you solve it, you will see that the value of Q will be 10,000 units. So that means for a production and sale of 10,000 units, both alternative A and B will generate same profit. That means we will be indifferent between alternative A and alternative B. So question number 7 and 8 you can study at your home on your own. So that's all for today.